I think we are live. Should be live. Okay. Hello, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's check camera angle number 2. Hi. Camera angle number 1. Or whichever, whatever. What's a stream without pre-stream tech issues? No, it was more like the dog this time. No, this time tech, we've got pretty ironed out at this point. I want to make changes, but for the moment, tech is fairly ironed out. But I had the dog hanging out in the Nori, the new pup, hanging out, and I had to sort her out, get her dinner and stuff, and put her in the house. She's a little too wound up to be on stream yet, so anyway. Okay, we've got, what the heck? Stream is always playing back funky for me. Whatever. Live chat. I already sent out live notifications before, but you know what? I'm going to do a quick Twitter, like, we're actually live now, and drop the link. And then we'll get to running an umbilical, which is a weird sentence, but it's what we're doing. It's a weird sentence, but it is what we're doing. So I got some of the wiring done on the toolhead. I'm working on various things, being oh so productive lately. Vinny, hello. Yeah. So I was working on wiring a little bit, got the endstop wired. I got the fan wired for the board cooling, the Stealthburner board cooling, various things I've been working on yesterday and today. And then I sidetracked and started designing up a salad fork that I don't know if I'm even going to build. My ADD just would not let me not play with this. So, whatever. I think I can close that. We're not working on that this stream. It was just something I started playing with and probably shouldn't have. So, all right, let's get the Voron up here and start figuring out what we're going to be doing wiring-wise on this thing, because I want to run the umbilical cord, and there is definitely a hurdle to that I'm not thrilled about. Let me just grab it, and I'll show you what the hurdle is, first and foremost. Virtual printed Legos. I mean, you're not wrong. It's pretty much just dopamine hit to, you know, play around with a new printer that I'm not even building yet. Where is the cable? Where'd I put it? It is here, among every other thing that's here. Here it is. So here is the umbilical cable. Here's the umbilical cable for the USB connection. So it's one of the XT30 plus 2s. Let's see if this camera will see it better. So we got the XT30 plus 2 connection on there. And then our cable. So it's just a 4-wire USB cable, effectively, with 2 power wires. But here's a problem with it. Can anybody spot the problem? Can you see what is wrong with this picture? Not thrilled about the way this comes together and the way it is. Very large ends. Yes, that is effectively the problem. It's pre-terminated on both ends with pretty darn large ends. Chop it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to chop it. Because if I'm going to feed this through any strain relief, if I'm going to cable sleeve it as I want to do, I have to, something has to go. So, actual words from my wife just there. That sounds like you talking about me. Do you think you have ADHD? Hey, look, I'm not diagnosing anybody, but I will say that in the 3D printing community, I find the incidence of ADD and autism to be, the Venn diagram is basically a circle in my experience. But not diagnosing anybody, but in my experience. Okay, so we are going to cut an end off of this. I'm going to leave... I want to like pre-route it a little bit before I go hacking on it. But I'm fairly sure I'm safe to cut it. Chop my mellow cable because of the same issue. Yeah. Venn diagram looks like a pie chart. Yeah. Okay, let's grab the machine. So, I got a bit of the toolhead stuff done already. So we're not going to be doing too much with that, but I do need... So the way I do something like what we're about to do is I'll generally put the toolhead as far as I can away from the mounting point for its cable. In this particular case, the PG7 mount, I'm using the Z Umbilical from... Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit with the other camera. Sebus, welcome in. What's up? Let's go to 2 here. Yeah. So I'm going to be running Z Umbilical from... am I still off autofocus? I'm on manual focus. Auto. That looks better. Okay. So Z Umbilical means we're going to be having the umbilical for the tool head coming from here, going to a PG7 mount. Petty Ruxpin, welcome in. To a PG7 mount here on the back of the tool head. Umbilical comes out at an angle. Yes, it comes out at an angle to help with clearance issues. When you're getting up toward the top hat, a straight up umbilical, well, not top hat, there is no top hat on this. A straight up umbilical will start to really rub on the top. The angle should help with that theoretically. We'll find out. Haven't run it this way before, but what the heck was that? Oh, my belt got stuck. Weird. Huh. Okay. Hello to all. Welcome in, JA. Okay, so I'm going to pre-run this cable a little bit just to start getting me an idea. Have you used printed umbilical gland? No, I have not. It's a 2-piece. You don't have to depin your cables. Nope, never done it. I use legit PG7s and PG9s and M12s. I like these ones. At least for the tool head portion, I like these ones with the built-in strain relief. I have the regular, like PG9 here, cable gland without the strain relief for the Z umbilical we'll be using. Stuart Allison, love your content. Hello from down under. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Okay, so let me get this wire out of the way. After midnight for me, welcome in, Daredockel. You're always a night owl anyway, right? You seem to be when you're in stream anyway. Okay, I'm going to raise this up a little bit. So, I'm going to pre-route this cable a little bit, start figuring out where it's going to be going. And make sure we got plenty of length. I'm sure we do, but I just want to be certain before I go cutting. Last thing I want is to accidentally cut off a bit of cable that I needed. Okay, so this tool head cable plugs onto the board, and then I think I'm going to go loop over because it plugs in at the top, and the strain relief that like Big Tree Tech has, I don't like, because all it does is support this connection, which is fine for the board. That's a good thing. But it doesn't really strain relieve the wire. What I want, mine will do both, technically, because I'm plugged into the board, and now I'm going to loop under, and I will loop up through the PG7. The cable gland strain reliever here. I'll loop up through that, and then back to here. So we got plenty of length there. Do I even want to go like a little less? No reason to have more than I need. That looks pretty good. 1 second. I'm gonna bend this real quick just to kind of like note where I am. I'm going to put a piece of blue tape on it just to indicate where I just figured out that this is going to come through here. Now, the next thing I need to do is go from here down to the base of the frame. So I'm going to go up on the desk because our other connection is right here. I'm going to try and raise this all up. Raise my Z. Cool. All right, Z is like maxed out. We're not going to be going that high in general. All right, Z's maxed out. So now I know where I can go to. This will loop and come down to here. Okay, looking at how much I've got left, it's a boatload, so I'm plenty safe to go ahead and cut this. I just needed to know that before I cut, that's all. So I've got way more than enough length. And so, pull this camera back. We can bring this down and I can cut off the end of this cable. Okay. I'm going to cut this like, I got plenty of length here. I'm going to cut it further than I need so I can strip back the sheathing and everything and have plenty. Had an intermittent connection issue tugging at the XT30 before adding a cable gland for strain relief. Yeah, I way prefer a strain relief. Now I want an adjustable desk for working on printers. I will tell you what, the adjustable desk makes the the best workbench. It really makes such a good workbench. And there's no going back now. I tried looking for these for XT30 plus 2 connectors. I can find them to crimp and whatever, but they're not really as readily available as I wish they were. So they can be found, but all right. Get this cable gland freaking grommet in here out. This second camera angle. I ordered a new HDMI switcher. Darkness and back. I ordered a new HDMI switcher. This one, I think this one's on its way out. That keeps happening where I keep losing my connection and it's just being really funky. So why is this not coming out of here? Is it not supposed to? Okay. Yeah, it's acting up on me. Something's off. So we entered the dark third dimension there. Yes, we did. I guess we did. Okay, let's see if I can feed this through here. Should be able to. Yeah. Cool. All right, the rubber bit in the middle here. I feel like that's upside down. Dark third dimension sounds kinky. Oh boy. Can't take y'all anywhere. Will this come up through the bottom with this in place? No. Maybe? Kind of? All right. Feeding us through my cable gland. There's another word and phrase that doesn't sound quite right. Cable gland. All right, tape off. Tape off. Keep feeding my cable through here. Ah, shit. Well, came unplugged. I don't love how, like, easily that came unplugged. That doesn't feel confidence inspiring. Oh, because I didn't have it plugged in well enough. That's why it didn't feel confidence inspiring. Because I didn't plug it in well enough. Okay. Now, this cable coming up through here. Yeah, I feel good about that. I can work with that. Cool. That's a good bit of length on there, I think. There's a little spot, little area where I can maybe zip tie this to kind of hold it in position a little better. We'll see. I'm running into a bit of an interference issue. That's going to be really hard to show you on camera. Let me see if I can get this camera angle higher and get a little bit better, like, downward perspective. Because I'm running into an interference issue with this door. I need to remix it, I think. Further. I remixed it already, but I don't think it's done yet. There. So this door here is hitting on some of the wires underneath of there. I still got to wire out the beacon. That's the only thing I didn't wire inside of here. I got the heater, thermistor. I got the fan, this 25mm fan for this cooling this board done. Yeah, so it's just the remix it with a Dremel. I mean, honestly, remix 2, remix harder. So yeah, I think there's just, this is just a little too thick up inside of here, or this board needs to move in just a hair. I don't know. If the board needs to move in, I have to reprint the entire the Galileo 2 housing. I think it could stand to go in like 0.5 millimeter or 1 millimeter. I'll figure that out after stream, maybe. In fact, I'm going to preheat the Persia now just to get the chamber cooking. So if I decide to print this yet today, I've got it pre-set up. Cool. Okay, now this cable is plugged in, routed up around. Just mash the cables and don't move. They don't move, so it should be fine. Yeah, but I don't love the pressure. I don't love the pressure and the slight give. Like, this is gonna wiggle, and also, like, the screw, like, doesn't quite line up. Like, it's really mashed. I'd have to, like, force it. I don't know. I gotta decide what the next step is. Okay, so that's good, that's good. I just gotta push the rubber piece up inside of here in a little bit better, I think. Let me see if I can do that with a screwdriver. The little piece of rubber that, like, slipped up in here is kind of stuck up in there. Did it go up where I want it? Not really. It's there, but it's not all the way up there. I think this should come out. Pretty sure this grippy portion, the finger's top here, should come out. It does on a 12 millimeter. I don't know about a PG7. I usually use M12s, not PG7s. But this mount already existed for PG7 and I didn't feel like redoing it. Doesn't quite seem like it is. Use a no clogger to try and push that up in there. Come on. Trying to push a little bit of rubber that was up toward the top before in there a little better. I think that's as good as we're getting. Okay, so now I got this, the actual strain relief portion of it. I'll pull this cable a little tighter. Cool. I'll pull a strain relief. I gotta feed this. The joy of doing things like this is all sleeve, pull, push, sleeve, pull, push, over and over again. Back the camera off a little bit. Okay. So, that is there. Make sure this is going to grip worth a damn. So it doesn't, kind of going about it wrong. I think it should. I think it will. Yeah, okay, it's gripping. Cool. That's what I needed. Now, tool head to the front corner, furthest away from this back mount. And this back mount can come out of here. And I'm not going to feed it through that just yet because I want to sleeve this cable, but I am going to do this so I have like a idea of where we're heading. Okay, that cable pulled a little tight just so it's not a bunch of excess material in here. It's all the way at the front corner, so it's really not going to be any further. I'm just going to double check it, make sure it's not further the other way. Nope, it is not. Cool. Okay, there's that. And I'm going to put that little dab of tape back on there just so I know. But this time I'm going to put it where the cable gland is, because two things I want to do. One, I want to reinforce this a little bit if I can. Unfortunately, I don't think I have nylon filament right now, which is usually what I would use for this. Let me check. But I don't think I have any nylon filament right now. 1 second. My filament organization is not great at the moment. PPS CF. I have PPS. Would that work? Maybe. No PA. Your PET. PC. Vibroflex. No, that's definitely not what I'm looking for. ABS. Nope, nope, nope. I don't think I have any nylon from Persia. Polycarbonate. I don't think PPS is going to be a good idea. And it's the only thing... How brittle is PPS? I haven't used this stuff at all yet. Anybody know? Oh, as we're way out of focus for some reason. Hey, there we go. Could use piano wire. I don't have any piano wire. I don't have any, and I'm not a huge fan of using metal for that. Just I worry the metal wire will chafe on the cable over time. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Awesome color. Thank you, Prash. Yeah. I actually learned the nylon trick I learned from Persia. Persia used to, anyway, do it on the Mark III. They would run a piece of nylon filament with the cable bundle. And it seems to make a good difference. I feel like my image is underexposed. Let's go one stop over. Yeah. Auto exposure. Okay. There's no nylon here. ASA will be too brittle. PTGCF. Darn. Darn. I think BPS is probably brittle. I don't know. Missed the ping. You didn't miss too much, so still do the nylon thing on the Mark IV's. Okay, cool. I don't know. Let's check out PPS. I haven't used this stuff. I'm figuring I need to dry it anyway, so let's check it out. I think it's probably too brittle. I do have PET. I do have some PET. Stop drifting focus so much. Okay. Yep, brittle. Brittle. I kind of figured that was going to be the case. Yeah, quite brittle. That's what I figured. I'm pretty sure it's brittle till annealed. Well, till printed for sure, and then annealed. When I use PA6, I don't have any. That's the problem. I don't have any nylon right now. I haven't restocked all of my filaments since the move, and I am completely out of nylon. Alright. That's what I want to use, is that. PCTG. I don't have any PCTG, but I might have PC80S. In fact, I have some of that right here. Weed whacker string is nylon if you have some. I don't have extra. It's in my weed whacker. And my weed whacker is up in the attic right now. The crawl space thing. Where's PC? It's here. ASA, PC blend. See how brittle this is. Let's see how brittle this is. PC blend. Nomad is grumpy. Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. PC it is. PC CF is brittle. Yeah, the CF adds a lot of the brittle nature to it, which that PPS is CF, so that's probably a large part of the problem with that. This is going to do. This is going to do what we want. UPS said they delivered my McMaster order for the extruder I'm designing. They didn't. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. Don't tell me you printed. PPS CF is awesome. I have a drone frame printed in it, and it's crazy strong. I'm waiting on... Took a picture of my street. Oh, man. We could arrange delivery Saturday. Thank you. I can take care of it. I have credit with the Polymaker. I need to place an order anyway, but thank you. This looks like it's going to do. Okay, so I'm going to cut this to length. What was the thing I was thinking about? Oh, PPS. I actually just talked to Fadis this week. And since last stream, I talked to Fadis. They're sending over a new hot end for this. I'm going to be swapping out the Next G that's in it, which we're going to stick with Next G, but we're going to swap out the Next G that's in it from the Next G fiber. The main reason I want to go to the fiber isn't the fiber, like the fiber version is a black heatsink with a coated heat break for wear resistance. The biggest reason I want it is it comes with a PT1000 thermistor, so I can get more accurate higher temperatures. I love this non-fiber one. I'm probably going to take this out and put it in another machine, but I'm waiting on the fiber one. Honestly, I could probably just swap out the thermistor and just leave this one in here. That's all I really care about. But anyway, I want to play with PPS on this machine once I get that. So, heat shrink. Okay. So, what we're going to do is take some of this heat shrink. This is not adhesive heat shrink. You can screw a PT1000 from Rapido into them. Yeah. Yeah, I do believe you are correct on that. But, you know, I like... well, whatever. I reached out and said, hey, can you send me one of the fibers? They said yes. So, I'm just waiting on it. Okay. I'm sure it'll be here in a week or two. I'm just going to keep going with this build and get it finished with the same one. Okay. So what I'm doing with this is heat shrink that is not adhesive lined. I usually use adhesive lined for a lot of stuff, for most things. For this particular application, for like cables, cable strain relief and such, I don't use adhesive lined because I want it to have some give. I don't want the adhesion. So right now I'm sleeving this PC next to the cable going down into this cable gland as far as I feel comfortable. I can get it down in there. And then I'm going to stick this heat shrink over it, down into there, close to down into there. Cable gland, I don't like that. I know, it is a awkward phrase. Okay. Now I've got heat shrink down in there with the PC piece in there. And you can see how the heat shrink alone is, you could probably see. Let me see if the other camera angle shows it better. But it's like, it's beginning to reinforce this cable already. Just the heat shrink and this PC piece. I could probably take this off of here now, this piece of cable gland, and slide it back, the support wire strain relief portion. Get it out of my way for the heat shrink. Please don't call it a gland, but that's what it's called, Nomad. That is the technical term for it. Nomad's moist gland. I'm sorry, my analytical brain will not allow me to call it the wrong thing. Oh, right. We got Nomad with the mod powers over here. Watch yourselves. Okay, so now I've got this cable run up as far in there as I can. It's run in there as far as I can. I can see that the PC is right up to the strain relief there. The piece of PC filament. And now I'll heat shrink it. Check, see if the other angle has a better view now. Ish. Something I'm also going to do is kind of pre-sculpt the wire a little bit and heat shrink it into a curved position, kind of like it will be on a regular basis in the machine. That'll help to train, because the heat shrink will slightly harden and kind of hold the wire in place. You can often guide wires with heat shrink, which is what I'm doing. I think that expression might be found in Lovecraftian story. What expression is that? Okay. Now I'm going to get another couple pieces of heat shrink to tie this a little better throughout. I'm going to cut a shorter one for the middle. All the way in the gland. Huh. We got off the rails a little bit, I think. Leave it to our mod to get us off the rails. Okay. So, next. It's me, what do you expect? Yeah. Pretty much that, pretty much. All right, another piece of heat shrink. I'm also wrapping this PC around it a little bit, just kind of create a coil around. And heat shrink this a little. I'll slide this back a little bit. The moist gland from the dark third dimension. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now we're really off the rails. Okay. And then the other end of this where it's going to be coming out of the back of the rear rail of the gantry, whatever. I will sleeve this over here. This last little bit. All right, now the PC will go down into this piece. I'm honestly doing more of this than I usually would, but kind of overdoing this a little bit, and I'm not upset about it, you know? Okay. I'm gonna pull this tape off now that we got the piece of polycarbonate's gonna give us the idea as to where the end of the rail is, or the end of the umbilical. Do you add loom after the heat shrink? Yes, I will be adding cable sleeving after this. This is just holding, the heat shrink is both reinforcing the cable a little bit, just adding a little more tension and life to it, and also holding the polycarbonate in place. I use PC Max for umbilical support and it broke in many sections, a few hours of printing. Keep an eye on that. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. This is a PC blend from Prusa, so I don't know what it is. Probably PC ABS if I had to guess, but that's just a guess. So it is just a guess. This is a regular heat shrink, not glue backed. I don't use the glue, the adhesive version. I do not use for stuff like this because the adhesive version is going to get more solid and have less give. This, I want the give of a regular heat shrink because we're just strain relieving. We're not trying to like fully stop movement. Which probe are you going to run on this? Beacon. Going to run an official beacon. Official beacon. Bacon. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. Now, it is cable sleeving time. I'm wondering the best way to do this. I think I'm going to try and... I can't decide. Because feeding sleeving down into this support on the gland is not going to be great. It's not going to be fun. I might slide this all the way off the cable and try a cable sleeving first and then bring this on after. Let's see how we go. I'm going to try that. Okay. So, I think purple, should I go purple or teal on the cable? I only have purple in the right size. The teal I have is small. It's not medium. Yeah, okay. Purple. Cool. Purple. Purple it is. Do the LDO 2.4 kits come with a chamber thermistor and a hotend thermistor? Yes, they do. LDO kits come with an extra thermistor. I think it's fairly short that they intend to go onto like a cable door on your Stealthburner. There's like a little chamber thermistor mount that sits on top of the Stealthburner. Kind of hate the way it looks, but it works. It's very short, yeah. Okay, so this I can cut to length. I'm just running it along the length of the wire so I get the length right. Okay, I've got a lighter, torch the end of this so it doesn't, I torch the end of this because it helps to keep it from fraying. I'll do the same to the other end that I cut that's still on the spool. Just to keep it nice and neat for now. I have a very short one that's labeled chamber thermistor. I don't have a hotend thermistor. I think they forgot one. Well, an LDO kit generally these days, if it's Rev C or Rev D, it comes with a Revo. So the Revo has a built-in thermistor. Unless your kit didn't come with a hotend at all, they might not include a hotend thermistor anymore. Rev D is expecting a Revo. So that would be why you didn't get a hotend thermistor. They're expecting you're using a Revo hotend, which wouldn't come with a thermistor. Didn't it come with the Revo Voron? Focus. Yes, Revo has a built-in thermistor. Yes, yes. So you're good. Revo has a built-in thermistor. There's 4 wires that come off of the Revo. 2 of them are heater cartridge, 2 of them are thermistor. And now I'll just snake my cable sleeving over this. Cable sleeving, snake it over, down to where the strain relief is going to be. And now I'll hold the one end down here where I want it to be, and I'm going to pull. These things are like Chinese finger trap, this sleeving. So I just need to work it both directions, holding one end and working the other, just to get it to kind of go where it was. I'm going to make sure I did it all correctly before I power it up. Cool. You should, yeah, it should be straightforward. Well, the hot end's not in there, but yeah, here's the Revo heater cartridge. Figure it out. Yeah. Here's a Revo heater cartridge. So these 2 wires on this one anyway are heater. They have the ferrules on them. And then the one with the connector on it is thermistor. So Rev D of the LDO kit should have come with the SB Nighthawk. So you probably directly ran these to the SB Nighthawk board, tool board. And yeah, should be good. But you'll probably be able to just open up your cable door on the side of your Stealthburner and check. Cool. Get back in there. Okay. Now that's kind of through there. Time to put this strain reliever back on. I'll call it a strain reliever, Nomad. Going this way. Hopefully this slides over that cable sleeving. I think it's going to be a pain, because I think it's going to be just a little big. Yep, just a little big to get over this cable sleeving. This is going to be fun. I might have to thread it the whole way. Seems like that's what it wants. Oh, that's not fun. It's going. Or is it? I can't tell. It's either bunching up or it's going. I can't tell which. I usually use moist gland for wires. I usually use M12s, which are just a little bigger than PG7s. I really wish I would have here. Oh, it's working. Cool. Cool. It's coming through. It tore up the end of the cable sleeving a little bit, but gland is slightly enlarged. We are just not escaping that. Come on. Slide. Just slide the cable gland. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Oh, now we're bunching up on this end. Not ideal. I got to the heat shrink on this end, I think. Made it just ever so slightly bigger. What's your thought on an SB Nighthawk? I haven't tried one. I'm going to try one soon, probably. I've got an old like Rev A or Rev B kit. I already got it over the heat shrink at the other end. I just got to get it started over the heat shrink on this end. I'm going to try building a Rev D 2.4 soon. So I've got an old like Rev A or Rev B kit, and I'm going to talk to LDO about getting me a Leviathan and a Nighthawk. You've inspired me to try to fix my half-assed umbilical. Is this really inspiring? Because it's not fun right now, I'll tell you that. Okay. I pulled a little bit too far back. I'm going to try and go back a little bit here. Thread it. All right, now it's threading over that. Nice, nice, nice. That's what I wanted to see. Glutton for punishment, yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Pull that. Oop, went too far, I think. I want to make sure that the sleeving can't pull out of here and it's actually in the wire, the strain relief, because if the sleeving is in the strain relief, it's going to help the strain relief do its job. Okay, now I'm going to have the fun of, because I need to tighten this, but I don't want it to spin off of the cable sleeving, I got to kind of spin the cable a little bit while I tighten. Come on. Where's my wrench? I have an adjustable wrench here. Here we go. I really wish I would have gone with an M12 frickin' strain relief right now. I don't understand how people are running wires through these PG7s happily. I guess it's working, but it's not my idea of fun. The M12s are just a little bigger and they have just enough room inside of them to be more useful, I think. But this is what HeartK had set up for this mod, so I'm using it. I did remix the part a bit, but not a lot. I just cleaned up some things I liked about printability-wise and added a little strain relief for this particular board. Tighten carefully. All right, cool. So cable is there now. I'm gonna pull this sleeving back a bit. Cool. We're looking good, we're looking good. All right, now I need to get on Digital Matrix IO. Good afternoon. Just went through the same fight with cable glands a couple weeks ago. I'm relieved that it wasn't just me. Yeah. If nothing else, this stream series is good for making people feel good about not being the only ones suffering. All right. Feeding this through. Now I get the joy of the other end of the cable. This one's not going to go in here quite as nicely because we already tore it up with the first one. But it'll work. It will work. I'm confident. Marginally. Somewhat. There we go. Cool. Got it started. Screw it across that cable a little bit. Great. Cool. Now, I can feed this down through the actual cable gland itself. Pull it through here. You know what? If I take this off of here, it's going to make my life easier. Yeah. Make my life easier if I pull this off of here. Cool. I also remixed... I remixed HeartK's design a little bit here and added a thermistor mounting point on this Z umbilical. I really need to get a better close-up angle in these streams. This camera, it's good, but it's just not... it loses something when I zoom in too much, I feel like. Let me try again anyway. Okay. You can see that thermistor, NTC 100K there for a chamber thermistor that will be mounted to my gantry. So this is the Z umbilical mount. My umbilical going to the tool head is coming on this end. And then this one will be underneath the rail, the extrusion. And then this will go down to the chamber. Not to the frame behind the bed. That'll go to the chamber. So, okay. Let's get this kind of how it's going to be. I might just spin this around here to tighten this in here. Does that make sense? Got it off of here, it'll be easier. There we go. Lovely. Oh, spinning a little loose in the body. Yeah, the threads into the body here are like not quite as tight as I'd like. I think I might need a pair of wrenches here. Okay, let me see if I can hold it with a pair of Nipex. That's gonna be too big. Let me check what size wrench I need for this and go grab one. 14.8, so 15 millimeter wrench. Just drop the audio file in memes pick Mandic. Oh boy, on the Discord. Oh boy. You know when Nomad is quiet, he's up to no good. Nomad is up to no good. Okay. Yeah. One of these ought to do. One of these ought to do. Let's see. Is this the right size? Seems to be. Cool. There's no copyright stuff, so it could share it. Could be cursed though. I mean, it's almost certainly cursed. We know it's cursed. Whether it's Lovecraftian cursed, I don't know, but it's definitely at least somewhat cursed. Cool. Okay. Thread this back down in here a little bit better. Great. Okay. Now this can go where it's going to go. Ooh, getting this cable around here is going to be a bear. Hitting this thermistor cable, it's all bunched up now. Counterpoint, everybody should have a little Eldritch Horror in their day. Touche. You know, I think that's probably fair. It's probably fair. All right, let's get this thermistor cable unbunched here. So I got to get this umbilical cable around this extrusion, and there's not a lot of space for that. It is a tight fit, I think. Okay. All right, that's around there. Cool, cool, cool. All right, where'd the screw go here? I don't see it. Oh, it's still on my screwdriver. That's why. Still on my screwdriver. How we doing? How's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. This is only going marginally badly. So, could be a lot worse. Nah, it's going fine. I think it's going fine. Cool. All right, that is there. And slide this back where it's supposed to be. Cool. Ah! I borrowed the screwdriver for a sec, sorry. Well. Heard a little quick crack in there, but it seems okay. All right, now I need a screw in this mount. I think this one's too long. Yeah, a little too long. Trying to use all these like black chrome screws that I've got. God, that auto exposure on this camera keeps going crazy. I'm gonna disable that. Step down one. Okay, it's a little overexposy, but at least we can see what we're looking at. Let me see if I can get this screw in here. Hearing crack means you loosen a quarter. Yep. Yep, torque spec. It's just torque spec, that's all. All right. I forgot there's a second screw hole in here, so I'm just getting that tight. That'll help support all this. Cool. All right. Umbilical is umbiliced. So it's not going to be, it's going to hit the top, don't get me wrong, when at full build volume, but not as bad. The angle helping here really is helping, I think. Except for back here, we're going to get a little funky. Not much I can do about that. It's going to be kind of like bunched up in here. Now, granted, I'm higher probably build volume wise than this is ever going to get. My machine is limited to like 260 or 250, I think, on Z. I might be understating that, but I forget. I want to say it's somewhere in the 260 to maybe 270 range, but I don't think so. I don't think it's even that much. Time for a top hat. Yeah. Yeah, but I like these handles. Top hat would be a good idea, though. I was considering it on the Trident build. We'll see, we'll see. Okay. Now it's Z umbilical time, but to do the Z umbilical, they have one that's compatible with the handles. Cool. Tea or brew? Tea. Tea. Tis a tea. Okay. So, Z umbilical, yes. Now, I've got, for the Z umbilical, I've got my cable we just ran, the umbilical, one chamber thermistor wire, well, 2 wires for that, are 8 wires for the motors, and an end stop switch. I'm very tempted to go to smaller wires on the end stop switch. My Y end stop has like 22 gauge wires on it, maybe 24. They're so much bigger than they need to be. I don't know. I don't feel like dealing with it. I don't really want to redo it, but it would make sense to redo. Okay. So I sleeved the cable to the Z end stop or the Y end stop switch just to clean it up a little bit. So it's not just wires running through here ugly. Now I got to feed this through this back mount. Here. Let me go up a little bit. Gloop mug. Awesome. Yes. I love that gloop mug. Got a couple of them. I love those things. Okay. So these come through here into this extrusion area. So my wires for this Y end stop. I ordered a Voron 2.4 kit from Formbot. Anybody ordered one before? I would have liked to order from Fabrico, but didn't have the budget. I've not built a Formbot kit. I'm sure some others in the chat probably have. I've heard plenty of good things about them. Anybody have input for them? For Nice Cube? I've yet to build a Formbot kit, so. All right, now my end stop wires come back through here. I sleeved it so it can go into this mount with sleeving on both ends. And then I also designed up a, let me find it, this little shield piece. This little shield piece that will hold the wire where I want it. Cool. I just got to put a hammerhead in here and a screw. Hammerhead and a screw. Heard Formbot has gotten a lot better. It's perfectly fine so long as you don't expect LDO quality and ease of use. That makes sense. You're just going to be in for probably a little more searching around for files to make sure everything's right. And, you know, I've heard good things personally, but Make sure everything's square and straight. I had some extrusions arrive twisted. Ooh, that's unfortunate, but at least you found it. I guess hammerhead on here. Okay. This little thing go in here. And screw this down. This hammerhead, yeah, it did it again. This hammerhead is not tightening down. Oh, I bet I... What about designing your own 3D printer? Can it be that hard with off-the-shelf parts? Hard? No. Time-consuming? Yes. I mean, it's totally doable, but I heard the MPX guy fell off the back of the internet. What happened with it to him? I've heard similar things, but I've never done business, talked to, any of that. Yeah. Magic Phoenix. I think I accidentally designed this a little improperly. So it's not letting the hammerhead tighten where I need it to. Try and clean this up a little bit. Try this again. Do you have a Discord? I want to send you a link to the top hat. Yes, I do. There should be a link in the description. Nomad, are you here? Nomad is generally the one who's very good about linking the Discord. But yes, we do have a Discord. There's a live chat supplemental section where you can like drop in things we're talking about. But do you think wireless tool heads will ever exist? You're never going to be able to send power. You know, it'll have to have battery. But then there's nothing to say that like there couldn't be a dock situation where it would charge a battery or something, but then you're adding the weight of a battery. Wireless communication, sure. Latency is the issue. Any discrepancy in latency is going to create some seriously bad juju of connections and extrusion and heat cycles. And then there's a concern of like, you know, if your hot end is thermal runaway and it's wirelessly connected and like bad connection, will the machine ever even notice? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. While we're discussing 2.4 kits, I scored a 350 kit from West 3D on Black Friday. Anyone else have any pro tips for the build? Honestly, I built that 350 with Joel, 3D Printing Nerd. I would maybe check out that video, but... Yeah, sorry, let me see about grabbing a Discord. I think it's linked in the description, but I could be wrong. I never know. I add a bunch of stuff there. Edit invite link. I'll get it. Generate new link. I don't know why, but my invite links always... I have them set to not expire and no limit of people, but it's constantly resetting. I don't know why. Okay. Build it stock, then mod it. Yeah, I would probably generally... Why? I hit the copy button and it copied the text. Hit the copy button. What a dumb... Expire after never. Generate new link. Invite people. Oh. Why is... I don't know why Discord's fighting me right now. Edit invite link. Generate a new link. Copy. It's copying the text. It's not generating a link for me. It's my server and it's not generating a link for me. This is frustrating. Alright. I don't know why it's doing that. But tis... DM'd it. Cool. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why I can't currently generate a link. Is Discord being dumb? That never happens. Yeah. Yeah, that. So, okay. I'm going to make my life a little easier and take this fitting out of here. It's my server and I want it now. This camera angle. Ballistic, that new I was being summoned? What? I was asking for a Discord link. Some reason I can't generate a Discord link right now. Ballistic, I can't wait for that new switcher to come in because this thing, I don't know what's up with this thing, but it is not behaving nicely. Just stopping by, Hobo Banana, thanks for stopping by. You'll probably be done streaming by the time I could sit down and watch. Cool. Yep, there's a link. I'll pin Nomads. Boop, pinned. Discord link pinned. Thank you, Nomad. I don't know why. I never seem to get like a static link. I just want a static join link. What do I have to do to get a static join link? Probably have a bigger server. Oh, it's tripping out. I just saw that. 14 server boost. Jeez. That's quite a few. I think we got like 2 that I happened to use when I paid for whatever it's called, the premium Discord. Yeah, we've got 2. Okay, where'd I put that wrench? Here. I'm going to remove this quick. I'm going to remove the PG9 that I'm using for the Z umbilical off of here so that I can feed these wires through it a little bit easier. The key is, the trick is to buy them all and then slowly remove them, hoping the community chips in. Okay, I can see the trick there. I'm gonna have to depin this connector. Discord will be like, we're losing a level. Next level strats from Nomad. And depin this thermistor connector so I can feed it through these the cable gland. I think this might be a really tight fit with the motor cables through here. I'm worried about this. I feel like this needs to brighten up a hair. Yeah, that's too dim. That's better. Okay. Through here you go. Poke me on Discord if you need me. Cool. Thank you, Nomad. Okay. The secret ingredient is crime. Okay. Now I gotta see if the motor wires are gonna stick through here the way I need them to. All right. That's okay for right now. I don't think you guys can see anything. One of the tiniest resistors on your row stock board. That's always the frustrating problems you run into, where something so small and dumb holds you up. Okay, I got just some new like extension or motor cables just to make my life easier here. Though I do have to repin them on one end, but whatever. Like, that's fine. Some new motor cables here. Oh, I didn't show. I could probably show it real quick. Something I didn't show here. All right, let me get this cable out of this bundle. So I got my cables. Okay. Something I didn't show yet is right here. I've got a little something. I did it over here already. Let me see if I can adjust this camera and show you a little better. So this is a cable or a wire union. It's a JST 4-pin union. So it's just 2 connections, but all it is just a straight through PCB. I got these from XR Bunker. Shammy made them up for me. Thank you very much, Shammy, for providing those. Okay, and then, so what I'm doing is my motor is running just from here to this PCB, and then through the PCB, I'll just run another connection. The idea with this is if my wires back to the main board get a break, it's easier to repair than just having a whole wire I have to repair in the middle of. If I want to swap these motors out, if I want to try Kraken motors or something else down the line, I'm going to be able to do that on this without having to like completely redo the wiring all the way back to the main board. So if this motor dies, it cooks itself, I can swap it out for the same motor. All I have to do is just repin this connection right here and I'm back up and running. So, you know, just trying to save myself all this trouble that I'm working on here and make my life a whole lot easier. Shammy's got a lot of great stuff. Your Micron has a bunch of his stuff. Cool. Yeah. Shammy makes some excellent things. Yeah, I asked him to make these up a while ago, and he did, and here they are. So I actually I got these, I got some 3-pins. Forget what else. You can make a whole printer out of PCBs, no wires. Yeah? There's a concept. And I made these little mount plates for them. Just to, here, I'll show you a little more what I'm talking about. Let's go to the other camera. For this. Second camera here. So there is our little 4-pin JST to 4-pin JST. Just a simple straight through PCB, and then a little mount that I made for it. All it is just a plastic, you know, piece with a little locating thing so it locates properly on a rail. Pair of you know, nuts, and boop, tighten it up onto there. Done. So, yep. I remember when people used to do like breakout PCBs are another point of failure. Then these big printers are like 5 feet of failure points with these wires. Yeah. You know, yeah, it is another failure point. It's another connection point, but like this isn't moving, you know, it's not under a load. It's not going to fail. Now, a toolhead PCB, I can kind of see that point. Not this, though. Like, this isn't going anywhere. There's no load on this. Long wires are failure points. Yep. I'll put this back here on this extrusion. I just got to mount it to the underside of the extrusion here, right next to the motors and the motor mount gantry plates. I got to wire this one, rewire, pin this one, and sleeve it. I'll do that off stream probably. Let's just get the Z done. Oh, but I do need to. Okay. So you folks are going to get to see how I sleeve a longer cable, or at least a pre-terminated cable, I guess. I don't know. I love toolhead PCBs. I'll pry them for my cold head dance. I like toolhead PCBs in this way, not breakout PCBs. If it's a breakout PCB where it's just one big connection, not a fan. This, like a toolhead board, different story. Okay, so I'm depinning this connection because on the one end is a motor connector, so it's the 6-pin one that I don't need. I need 4 pins on both ends. I'm going to depin this, but I'm also going to sleeve this cable, so I need two reasons why I need to depin this. One, I need to do it because I just need to repin this end, but I also need to sleeve it. And this connector will make it a bitch to sleeve. Someone needs a depinning tool. This is not a tool that uses a depinning tool. Not a machine, not a connection that uses a depinning tool. Honestly, JSTs in general, depinning tools are pointless in my opinion. This works as well as a depinning tool. But that connector end's the kind that has the little plastic lever arms holding them in, so you got to just pull that back. So razor blade is the best option for that in my opinion. Just snip it. Well, I want to keep the end for now. My depinning tool is the smallest flathead in my iFixit kit. Yep. Yep. Okay. So I got that depinned. What I'm going to do now is take a little piece of that heat shrink that I used before. Want a little smaller piece. Are you small? Too small or small enough? Yeah, too small. Okay. I'm gonna take a little piece of this heat shrink, a little sacrificial piece. And I'm going to heat shrink over these terminals, these pins on the end of this connection. Because if I try to feed those through this cable sleeving that I'm using, if I try to feed those through here, they will catch on the cable sleeving really badly, and you'll fight it the whole way trying to slide the cable sleeving over. But if I put a little heat shrink over the end like this, it will not catch nearly as much. This is non-adhesive heat shrink, so I can easily remove it off of here without leaving residue behind. But it's on there well enough. Have you ever built a VZ bot? No. But we just got a kit in. It's back there right now. So I will be building a VZ bot. I just got a kit in this week, or like last week. Got a kit in last week for like Christmas. It showed up. Yay. And I ordered filament this week to get the parts printed. So soon, TM. Soon, TM. We will be building a VZ bot. I think I need to repin this connection too, because I don't think this is the right pin out for what I want. Let me check. I'm going to check out what the octopus wiring is and follow that. Yeah, different pin layout. Just a little different. Actually, the only thing that's different is red and blue are flipped. Wasting heat shrink is much easier and the pins inevitably get caught in the sleeve and mangled. Ask me how I know. Yep. I will gladly sacrifice a little heat shrink to get the job done. Not only will it be easier in the respect of not messing up the pins, it's just going to be way quicker. Zombie Hedgehog, welcome in. Electrical tape can work too, but what's a VZ bot like? Insane? Ridiculous? VZ bot. Here, I'll open it up and we look at it. Maximum speed. Yeah, a hot rod. So VZ bot. What we will be building. I plan content around the VCore 4. Yes, I would have had a video up already, but I got sick. So being sick kind of really took the wind out of my sails last week. PEI tape works and comes off clean. Okay, that's a good idea. But yes, I will have a video out before too darn long. So this is a VZ bot. I'm building it from a Mellow kit that they sent over. And it is... I'm building a 235, a VZ235 with all-wheel drive. So it's got 4 motors, super high-flow hot end, the Goliath hot end. Doesn't even show the Goliath in there, but yeah. So, Mellow kit. Imagine a small VZ. There's somebody in here who has a small VZ. Somebody on my Discord. I'm sorry I'm blanking on names at the moment, but... Are you gonna do a mod bot and punch the power supply? And I never watched his stream. I'm not gonna water cool it off the bat. I don't think I'm gonna water cool it off the bat, but I probably will at some point. But yeah, VZ, Mellow VZ kit I've got sitting over here. Mellow sent it over so we can get this thing built. Don't talk about small VZs. Somebody in my Discord built a small VZ, like a 180, I want to say, a 160, something like that. If you search on my Discord for VZ bot, you'll find it. There is a small VZ in my Discord. You only really need a water cooled if it's going to be a hot enclosure. Yeah, I don't know yet. I kind of want to just run it and see what I'm doing with it before. Does a Goliath hot end still exist? I thought there were trademark issues. They worked that out. Tell Mello to drop that Mercury 1 kit already. Didn't know they were working on one. Mello's sending over a couple of boards for another project too. But I don't know that I have much pull with them. But I do know that they're sending over some boards for a project, and they sent over the VZ bot. So, yeah, I do have a water-cooled build planned, but that is a heated chamber build, which is exactly why I'm water-cooling that one. So I will be doing a water-cooled Voron 2.4, actually, which is going to be very interesting to water-cool these stepper motors at the back. Mello makes sweet stuff. They just need to work on their documentation. So, okay, this wire is going to here. Did I just pin that right or wrong? Dang it. I gotta look at this other connection to see if I pinned this right. I think I might have gotten it wrong. Yep, I'm totally backwards. Dang it. Okay, I gotta repin this again. Mello has nice stuff if you don't need docks. Yeah. Have you seen the Mello 1, M1? Yeah, I have. I'd love to play with that thing. That thing looks cool. That's a neat design. Didn't Steve just get one of those? I think they sent him one. All right, I'm just going to totally depin this and repin it. So I got this all wrong. I need an M1 just to have one. Exactly. Exactly. That's definitely I'd like to just have it on the shelf machine. Probably end up next to my positron when I get it built. Okay. I need an M1 for my desk at work. Yeah. The thing I can't get out of my head, I showed it earlier. I started playing around with like modding up a salad fork design. I really want to build a salad fork. I'm just waiting on a 180 kit. Good thing is you can store them and they don't take up space. I mean, yeah, it won't take up a lot of space. You're right. Okay, so I need this connection to be blue. How did I pin this one? Yes. Okay. I'm following the Voron guide because I just want to make sure as I'm repinning and redoing these motor wires, I just want to have them uniform from one end to the other. So if I have a good starting point, if I need to switch things, I need to switch things, but this gives me my starting point. But how many printers can you put inside of another like a nesting doll? Well, I've got the Rat Rig VCore 4500, so that's a good starting place for me. I'm starting from an advantage, I think. Okay, that's one end of that done. Now the other end. Now the other end. Get this motor connection off of here. Just totally off. Get out of there. Yeah. You could put a 350 2.4 inside of the Rat Rig and a V0 or a Posi inside of that. Yeah, I think that sounds about accurate. Depends. Does it count if the posi is folded? Because if the posi is folded, we could probably take my rat rig, put a 2.4 inside of it, then put, if we did a 350 2.4, it could probably fit like a Mark IV on the bed, and then a positron on the bed of the Mark IV. Does that count? Then put it all inside of a Giga. I'm not lifting all of that, is the biggest thing. What hot end plan is planned for the Hotbox 2.4? A Mosquito Magnum Plus. It's getting a Mosquito Magnum Plus hot end. They sent me, Slice Engineering sent over the whole Bondtech toolhead from Slice, or with the Mosquito Magnum and all that quite a while ago. And I've not gotten to using it yet. So I'm going to build it first with the Bondtech toolhead, which is air-cooled, not water-cooled. And then I'm going to swap it out later for a water-cooled hot end setup, and probably like maybe my own design of toolhead. I haven't decided, because my intention is when I first build it, it's a Doom Cube build, 2.4, heated chamber with a error, which I'll just limit to like 60 Celsius or something. I'll just limit it to like 60 degrees Celsius chamber temp, maybe 70 or so. Run it like that for a little while, and then give it a run, break it in, and then I will water cool the hot end and get rid of the printed parts on the hot end. And once I do that, then I will water cool everything, and then I'll push chamber temps up more. I just want to kind of like, I think, break it in at lower temps before I start pushing it to the high temp stuff. Hot boxes are a different beast. Yeah, I'm struggling to find a bed heater right now that'll go hot enough. Like, it's hard to search. It's hard just to CNC motor mounts. It's going to be CNC everything except for the tool head at the start. Yeah. I really want to do all-wheel drive 9mm on it, because it's meant to be my like balls to the wall build. It's meant to be the like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks build. To the point that I'm gonna like, you know, build it out bigger. Probably need a good thermal fuse for that bed. Yes, I'd like to try and find a bed that can go to 175 or 200. And then run a carbon fiber build plate or something. I need to maybe talk to Vision Miner and see if I can't get some parts from them. Problem is their machine, the 22 IDEX is a 350 build volume. I'm going to be building a 300. That's the only problem. Yeah, Vision Miner peeps definitely have that stuff, and they're good folks. They're cool. I think they might be down for playing around like that. Because honestly, it's going to be a lot of work to build it into what I want it to be. And I feel like that might be a good little demonstration like of their machine, just to be like, hey, I put so much effort in it. I spent thousands, because it's like, the last time I looked at the parts bill for what I have already, I want to say it's like $3,000 worth of hardware. I might be overstating that a little bit. I don't know, but it's over $2,000 for sure. Anyway, point being, you know, till I'm all said and done, it might be a good advertisement for them about their 22 IDEX to be like, I did all of this work to build this thing, or you could just buy theirs. Obviously, for me, that's not the point. But for somebody who really wants and day-to-day needs a high-temperature machine for work, it would be a valid point. Okay, now this connector. Or you can get a professionally assembled one. Yes, exactly. Insert affiliate link here. I don't think my affiliate link for Vision Miner covers their 22 IDEX, unfortunately. I know it does the bed adhesive, nanopolymer bed adhesive. I think that's all it covers, unfortunately. Okay, this is repinned now. So both ends of my motor connection are pinned. And going to my PCBs. Okay, so now these need to come to here. So I got to sleeve this. I'm going to leave a little extra. I always leave a little loop of extra wire when I'm doing something like this as a service point. If one of these wires screws up, if I somehow accidentally pull one of these pins out when I try to service something in here, I want to have a little extra wire to work with. So like this little loop I've got right here looks good. So I need to sleeve this to like here. Mark that. I'm gonna go teal on this. Oh, I got teal right here. Teal right here. And where did my mark just go? Oh, there it is. It's a little further than I thought it was. Okay. I like the approach that Prussia did by boxing out the volume in the chamber. Yeah, I do too. Excuse me. It is a great idea. Unfortunately, in a flying gantry build, it's not really gonna work for me. Realistically, a trident build would probably be a better idea for a high temperature build, but I have a 2.4 kit, and all the like bling extra parts I have are for a 2.4. 2.4 is really not necessarily the ideal choice for it, but it's what we're going with. It originally started out, it's the machine that I know I've talked about it before. We previously called it the LTT build because it's like throw everything at the wall, you know, CNC this, CNC that, like the Mandala Roseworks sent over the CNC kinematic bed mounting setup, just whatever bling stuff I could get on it. But as time went on, I was like, okay, if I'm actually going to use this thing, high heat rises and all that, yeah, I know. If I'm actually going to use the thing, it makes sense to make it something that'll work. Honestly, think that the reversing aux fan would be enough for a high temp printer. I mean, you can really get a chamber pretty darn hot with just bed fans. My Trident build's going to get bed fans. And this is getting bed fans, actually. I don't know if I showed those yet. I'm adding a couple more bed fans in this. These are the Evenmores. So it's just a pair of, they look like Nevermores, but all they are is fans. So it's a pair of 50-15 fans that'll go underneath the bed outside of the frame rails on this, just to move a little more heat around there. Why not build it upside down like a posi? I mean, I could. That would be weird. I could, though. That's one question. I don't know if I'm going to like go full Doom Cube and put the electronics on top. I probably should. Because it's going to be a heavy beast when it's done. It's going to be an insulated Doom Cube build. I was tempted to put a glass door on it. I don't know. My Trident hits 65C at 110 bed with 4 50-15s. Cool. Put them outside the hot chamber? What's that? The bed fans? The fans? I don't know what you're referring to. Put what outside the chamber? I might be using a little bit too small a heat shrink on, or a cable sleeving on this wire. It's not wanting to slide over this. Fridge door with a sheet of glass. That's exactly what I was thinking of doing. My own design of fridge door. Oh, put them outside the hot... Oh, well, yeah, no. The electronics will absolutely be outside of the chamber. Yeah. None of the electronics will be in the chamber. Yeah, I got to use the next size up on this heat shrink. It's not going over. Not heat shrink. Cable sleeving. It's not going over. Next size up. Small. I think I was extra small. I need small. Yeah, no, they will definitely be outside of the chamber. Steve, welcome in. Hello, hello. I get mid-50s just leaving something on top of my X1. My X1 with all the insulation in it, the best I ever get on my X1 is like 53. 53 is like the max. And I've done all that insulating so much trying to get that thing. Mine just, that's the best it'll ever do. This machine, my 300 2.4, I get to about 45 or 40 at best. We could all be Steve and just put a poly dryer in the chamber. My top on my X1 is insulated. The top glass on my X1 has a layer of butyl aluminum insulation on it, and then a layer of foam insulation. And then it's got a riser on it that's sealed all the way around. So I don't know. Ambient temps make a massive difference. Yeah, there's also a very distinct argument to be made for how accurate are our chamber thermistors on machines like that. I question how accurate chamber thermistors are from machine to machine. You know, like even quality hot ends, I find variation. So, you know, I could have two Revos in two different machines and filament will extrude just a little differently between the two of them. So, I think there's plenty of discussion to be had there. All right. Let's run this down just a little bit so I have a little excess wire sticking out of here. Snip this, put a little heat shrink on the end of that just to clean off, cap off the end of that. Now this bigger sleeving might be too big for this heat shrink. Depends on the filament, varies between rolls. I use almost exclusively Polymaker filament, and I really don't find variation to be that much. Don't get me wrong, batch variation happens, but I generally can run the same settings pretty continually. Okay, heat shrink this. Cool. And now this wire runs through this for the cable, or the not the cable gland, the Z umbilical. All right. Run this up into here. This little window for the wire to run through. I just keep using a digital laser thermometer. Yeah, digital laser thermometers are not especially accurate. They really depend on what you're reading against, emissivity of it. Yeah, I don't know. Realistically, at least what I should be doing is I really need a new like dedicated temperature probe setup. So like a fluke meter with a thermistor or whatever, a thermocouple. And I need to be using it across multiple machines to check between, you know, have one consistent reading source. To what degree you're talking, like tenths of degree inaccuracy? Oh no, it can be pretty drastic inaccuracy depending on what you're checking against emissivity wise. That's a deep rabbit hole. Exactly, which is why I don't review machines anymore. Just, there's such a deep rabbit hole to all this stuff. And so many people don't pay attention to like those kinds of details. It just gets so tiring that I don't even. Managed Cap Stream Live. Antstar, welcome in. Okay, so this wire is going to here, so this needs sleeving all the way to here. Okay. All right, from there to there. Put a piece of high temp tape on the surface he wants and consistent reading. That's a solid option. Have a consistent surface that you're reading off of. Yeah, that is a solid option. At least then you know whatever inconsistency may be down, you know, you're matching emissivity across your various testing platform situations. It's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. I measured my thermistor against a fluke thermocouple and it was off by 5 to 8 degrees. Well, do you remember I did that? You may not have seen it. My review of the Anycubic Cobra Max years ago, like 2-3 years ago, I reviewed the Anycubic Cobra Max because I found that needed to extrude filament way colder than everything else I had. And I ended up finding out through using a thermocouple I stuck into the hot end and tested it. It was like 20 degrees hotter than the, no, it was more than 20 degrees hotter than the thermistor was reporting. So if it was saying it was like 180, it was like 215 or something like that. It was like way off. Cobra Max review. I want to say, I forget. Like a lot of things are off. Don't get me wrong, but like it was really far off. Whoop. Quiet. Where temperature issues. There we go. Reading outside of the heater block 205. Okay. But it was saying 200. Oh, it was actually that every other machine was reading inaccurately, but that's kind of industry norm. It was a weird temperature situation on that thing. It was just reading wildly off from every other machine I had at the time. So it was strange. Which is why I always say, tune filament to the machine. I don't care if it's a filament you use every single day of your life. If you have a different machine, tune that filament to that machine because it's going to vary from machine to machine. Reminds me of the 3950 thermistors I have. Garbage, yeah. I use 3950s for, like, you know, chamber thermistors. At least it was consistent with itself. That's the biggest thing that matters, yeah. Basically, printing a temp tower will rectify any reading discrepancies. That. Print a temp tower. The first thing I do with any machine out of the box is when I'm actually going to use it, not doing a stream or something where I'm just going to show it like print a benchy. When I'll actually use it, the first thing I do is print a temp tower. That is the first thing I do on a machine. Print a temp tower, see what that machine wants to print at with that material. Every material I want to print, I print a temp tower. And then I tune flow, extrusion multiplier, and I tune pressure advance, and yeah, so all the things. Okay, that's looking good. I just got to put a piece of heat shrink on the end of that. Yeah, the only thing I ever use slicer printer like filament profiles for is starting points for tuning my own filament profile. Even Prusa and whatever with their myriad of filament profiles they have. It's lovely starting points, but that's all I use them for. Everything gets tuned. Still running Stealthburner. Yep, still gonna run a Stealthburner on this. Stealthburner has worked perfectly fine for me on this machine. I don't really need anything else for my needs. I print mostly ABS and ASA on this machine. Cools it perfectly fine. It flows perfectly fine. I know how to work on it. So, yeah, sticking with it. All right, now I got a zip tie point that I put right here. I wish Prusa would put in calibration tools. Yeah, I do too. I love Dragon Burner. I don't like the way Dragon Burner looks, is my problem, which is so dumb of me. Yet to try Zol. Zol is going on my Trident. So Zol is going on the Trident build. Once we're done this, we'll get back to the Trident build. So looking forward to that. Zip tie, zip tie, zip tie. I've noticed satin glossy finishes. Oh yeah, you can really get into the weeds about how to tune down a filament. There is a lot of that's a rabbit hole. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't go as far as I wish I could. I just don't have the time to go further. Like, you can tune extrusion multipliers way down to like 0.1 percentages and really fine tune things. And now we're starting to get nice slicer settings for like pressure advance at different speeds and sizes, and you know, variable pressure advance is becoming a thing. Like, there's so many options for what you can do out there. Okay. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I might change tool heads on this at some point, undetermined. I'm going to build another 2.4, but I can set up, I want to be my stock 2.4. Sometime soon I'm going to build one. I might not, I probably won't even stream it. I probably just want to like power through getting it built, honestly. But I'm going to build another 2.4 to use the box turtle on. So it'll have a filament cutter and a stealth burner. I want it to be like a stock LDO build, so that like when people ask questions about it, I have a frame of reference versus my modified machine. And I might change tool heads on this when I do that. Undetermined. You shouldn't have to tell it to do the right thing. It should know we need an AI slicer. I think we are a long way off from that. I like, you know, Bamboo has their LiDAR tuning. I think it's garbage. I don't use it. I don't find it gets anything close to a good result, in my opinion. Close. It gets close. That's not fair. It gets close. Not great. I haven't looked at it in the longest time, but the last time I looked at the logs, when I was able to look at the logs, it didn't do anything. It literally didn't do anything. On my X1, I only looked ages ago. This was ages ago, but like their LiDAR tuning was a placebo, a complete placebo. It was more like LiDAR, yeah. Because I could look at the log. I forget why. Somewhere in the very beginning stages of when I had that machine, they kind of like shared with me the log of it where I was having some problems, and they were asking me some questions in there, and they showed me where it like tried different pressure advance values, and then it read them with the scanner, and then it defaulted to the standard setting. It clearly said, you know, none of these are good enough. Like going back, all it did is fall back to the basic setting it had. It just printed the lines just for show. You have to spend years and hundreds of spools of filament to train it. And then the question is, if filament changes, there's so much involved with the idea of tuning in like an AI sense. Don't get me wrong, I'm certain it'll happen, but okay. So I've got my motor cable coming across the gantry here, going to this extrusion mount that I zip tied it to, that I made. Okay. I think we are ready. I'm gonna go behind this just to keep this a little more bunched up. Okay, now I gotta feed these motor cables through this cable gland, and I hope they fit. I think it's getting tight. All right. This is getting tight in here. This is getting tight in here. We're going to be lucky if this all fits through this freaking... through this umbilical. So what I was worried about... I was worried about this. Oh, okay. I pulled that a little too tight. Pull some back some length here. Great. Cool. Did you cut the EBB cable or did you have another one already fit through the cable? I cut it. I cut it because it was the only way to get it through here. Yep. But AI is so smart it could simulate things without having to do them. That can't account for real world inconsistency. Like your training model would have to be so vast and deep. I don't really see how that could possibly, like, you know, humidity and ambient temperature. There are so many variables you would have to plug in to tell it that you might as well do the tuning yourself at that point. Like something people lose sight of with these machines, I'm trying to think of the nicest way to put this. These are machine tools. These are tools. They're not gadgets. They're not toys. You know, they're tools. And you go up to a lathe, you have to know how to operate the lathe to get the best results out of it. And a lot of math, a lot of tuning, a lot of dialing things in goes into it. And that's true of these too. We are incrementally improving the barrier to entry and making it easier and getting better results. And for most people can get a bamboo or whatever and out of the box get as good a print results as they give a damn to get. I can't. I want to go further. I need better results for my work personally, but that's me. And I'm willing to put in the time, and I have a job that allows me to put in the time. And, you know, like, that's a privilege. Absolutely. So, I don't know. When I see people saying, I'm not getting good results out of this machine, I ask them if they tuned anything or whatever. It's, inevitably they kind of gloss over or, you know, glaze over and just look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can't just expect perfection, and that's that. It's an honor, not a privilege. It's both. It's both. I get to play, I get to enjoy what I do, and I have the time to invest in improving these things, and yeah. Oh, a gene delivery. Is somebody being a little loudmouth?
No, she said she was very upset.
Oh, she's not on stream.
Yeah. The people are calling her.
Oh, Gene Bean. Gene Bean. What are you doing, kiddo? Okay. Now, I gotta try and get this up in here. This is so much going through this freaking umbilical. I'm gonna try and refocus on this a little bit better. Ay, ay, ay. Because this is getting a little challenging in here. Yeah, I know, Bean. Yeah, you're here. Everybody, I'm sorry. We got a machine on the table and everything. Okay, now this has got to tighten into here. Now I got to do the whole thing again at the other end. Yay! Okay. Now this. All right, I think I've got all. Oh, nope, this wire. Nope, that's not that one. It's this one. I got to pull it a little tighter in here. Cool. All right. We need PCBs that can use CAN or USB. They exist. There are motor plates or motor setups boards for gantries, but they have their own issues. Let me see. I know it exists. What's it called? Gantry PCB Voron. West 3D has them. What do they call it? Where is it? There it is. There you go. This is for a 1515 extrusion, the GBB 15. So this, it mounts to your back rail on like a 1515 machine, gives you 2 stepper drivers. So you get a breakout. There is a version of this. There is a version of this for like 2020 extrusion. I forget what it's freaking called, but there is another one out there. But then it puts all of your stepper drivers and a processor right here at the back between the motors where it couldn't get a little warm. So like trade-offs. Trade-offs, you know? Okay. I'm gonna get that wire out of my way. So here's everything that's got to go through my Z umbilical. My gantry is all the way up right now. So this is like max height we're gonna be at. Where'd the rubber piece go? Here's the rubber piece. I gotta feed up. There's a little rubber sleeve that goes inside of there that kind of like pushed out of there at some point. I gotta get it back in. Party in the backboard. Yes, that's it. Party in the back. Yep. That's it. That is what it's called. Party in the back. It's a mullet. Oh, you okay, kiddo? Sounds like Gene is spitting up a hairball. Yay. Get to clean that up later. Gene Bean, what are you doing? They just released 2.0 of the party board. Oh, okay. It's nice. I'll have to look at it. I don't have any use for it on anything, but... Okay. Just trying to get these cables through this little piece of rubber that I got to try and shove back in here. DFH X PHYs. I haven't looked at DFH stuff lately. DFH always has the like weird... DFH is currently closed, probably for a holiday. And also they just moved locations. Or it's still in the process of moving, I guess. Oh, getting this rubber piece in here is going to be a bear. If I can. Oh, from Finalizing. It'll ship from China instead of Texas. Okay. Oh, DFH and Finalizing collabed on a board. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, geez, this is not fun. I don't know if this is going to get in here. I don't think it is. It's just like way too much. He said he's down for a while, restructuring his whole store and business model. Ooh. That's unfortunate to hear, but realities of our world. Especially, I'm really curious to see what happens. I love all the weird stuff. Yeah, it definitely has like the weird stuff. I definitely have bought things from DFH when like nobody else had them yet anyway. I'm curious to see how like tariffs and stuff, if that all comes in, goes through, blah, 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 like how that's going to affect our hobbyist printer market. Not just in like the price of machines, but like parts from LDO and Finalizing and all that, you know? Hey, that actually went in there way easier than I expected it would. Yay! Except it slipped over one of the fingers over here. Okay, there we go. Yay! Okay, now it's there. Great. Sorry, I'm gonna Sorry, links don't show in chat because it's a spam filter YouTube uses. Yeah. Okay. Dang it. Why? Some reason the SD card that I have plugged into this computer right now keeps dropping out and dropping back in all the time. Party in the back 2.0. That's where I was headed. Thank you. So I saw Adam Savage got a whole complete Formlabs setup. Interesting. I don't... I gotta love Google. It didn't bring up anything. Didn't bring up anything relevant. New Physx 5160 product? Is it? That's last year. Oh, that's the, I guess, yeah, DFH PITB. Sounds like a pain in the butt. Ha 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 ha. So there you go. Yeah, 5160s, 48 volt CAN bus board. Yeah. $86. Wow. That is not cheap. Or is that with driver? Here it is for freaking $89. That's old stock. Yeah. That's the same board, but only $89. Physec website has it for 35 or 34. Is that without drivers though? I don't know. That's just what comes up when I Google it. So, here we go. 2.0. Yep. There we go. $34. That's more like it. Damn pop-ups. Wow, that's a really great image. Okay, that looks a lot better. Yeah. Nice big beefy heat sinks. Bunch of CAN connectivity. Interesting. Interesting. I still don't have any use for it, but interesting nonetheless. Yeah, I was disappointed that with Adam Savage having that that Form 1, but they didn't, like, their tech was there, and their tech I would have thought would have been a little more like, hey, wear a respirator and stuff, but they didn't seem to care either. So yeah, didn't love that about that whole video setup. I just closed everything by accident. Minimized everything. There we go. Nylon dust is nasty. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with that. Yes, Jean, I know. She agrees. She says Adam was unsafe. You want to tell everybody about it? Yeah? Yeah? Look at the desk. It is covered in stuff. You're not getting up here right now. Jean made her appearance. And she is screeching about it. Okay. So I'm going to put some heat shrink on this because these wires are just like crazy. I need to stop waking up in the middle of the night. Yeah, I would say. Yes, I hear you. I do. I do hear you. I just don't care, Gene. Not with that attitude, I'm not. Yeah. What color should this be? Should this be purple as well? Should this umbilical be purple as well? I can't decide. What do you think? So we got purple on the Toolhead umbilical. Now the Z umbilical, I feel like should probably be purple too, yeah? So going from here to here will be the Z umbilical. Yeah, purple. I've got some purple heat shrink here. I could put on that probably. I'm gonna put a little heat shrink on this just to like bundle these wires together and make because the motors are teal. Cool. Yes, thank you. Purple. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I put a little heat shrink on this just to help manage these wires because they're all over the place right now. Where's that chamber thermos? There it is. Okay. Got too much stuff on the desk right now. Too much stuff on the bench. This heat shrink might not be big enough. Do I have bigger? I thought I did. I don't think this heat shrink's big enough. Is that one of those 3DO CAN USB flex chain cables? No. This is just the USB cable that came with the SB2209.
Could you stop screeching? Why are you being so mouthy? Yeah? What? Why are we yelling?
What are we yelling about? Here's some bigger purple. Here's some bigger heat shrink. I need scissors. These are snips aren't doing it. I need scissors. Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna cut a couple of eyes. It looks like violet to me. Yeah, well. It's a shade of purple. Getting exactly the right color of sleeving and getting the right color of sleeving and heat shrink to match and whatever, not easy. Not easy. I tried finding good purple heat shrink. That was not easy. I tried finding... Sleeving's easy. There's a link in the description to where I get my sleeving from. That's easy. There's a wide selection of beautiful colors from them. But heat shrink, not as easy. Heat shrink is not as easy. I have white because nobody has the same white. White is difficult. It's always freaking different shades of white. Everything. Okay. So I'm going to put a little piece of heat shrink on this just to keep these wires to freaking together. Are you interested in trying one of those carbon plates that replace the MIC6 aluminum if they send you one? Not particularly. It's graphite. It's not carbon. It's graphite. And I don't really think I have any particular interest in that. I guess I would try it, but like, I don't think they go hot enough. I forget what the temperature limit is, but I remember there being something about it when Simon did a video where I was like, I don't know about that. Maybe it's just the price, but graphite, yeah. My email is absolutely blowing up right now because CES is in a couple of days and I was registered to go, but with the new dog, I can't go. So... but my email is absolutely exploding with people being like, come check out our booth. Come check out our smart AI bed or our AI alarm clock or our AI everything, our AI cosmetics or just everything they can slap the word AI on. Oh, things I forget happen in Vegas despite I live here. Yeah. I was supposed to go. I was looking forward to it, but then Nori, our pup, came into our life, and Ruby's heading out of town. But I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. For half PC stuff, half of the companies have their own places, different. Yeah, and I wouldn't get any invites to any of that stuff. So like, that's the stuff I'd love to see, but I wouldn't get invites to any of those showcases. I got some to like LG and stuff, but I don't know. I wanted to go because I really wanted to go because I wanted to try and meet other brands like LG and, you know, just various other vendors that might like actually want to work with me and like, hey, let's have a fun project. Let's make something. But because that's the hard part is like a company like LG, they might be willing to like give me a TV to put on the wall and like make a fun project out of it, like a computer or something with it. But I can't get a contact email for anybody at that company. Like if you go to LG.com, you're not going to find the marketing contact for that company. It's just not going to happen. You have to go to an event like CES to get a business card from somebody so you have somebody to talk to. And that's a huge part of this business. But I can't go. So just meeting people is such an important thing in this work. It's funny for being an online content creator, how important it is to meet people in real life. I'll volunteer to be your liaison. Thanks. Appreciate it. Where the heck did the bottom piece go? Oh, it's right here. There's the bottom gland. Okay, so this... Come on out of there. Little rubber sleeve I got to get out of here. I went 3 years a while back, did some video photo work with an Australian review site, massive network opportunity. Yeah. I mean, that's as much as anything why I wanted to go. Get to see people I know, but I never talked to, like Paul's Hardware, DePoets, like people who we know each other, but like our paths rarely cross. So just to like chat with people, hang out, and those big things, but yeah. Wow. Have you met Mandic? Yeah, well, the hard part is that everybody who's going there is looking out for themselves and trying to do the same thing that I would do. So that's a lovely thought, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, get this rubber sleeve across here. Just so I got it on there. It'll help to organize these cables a little bit. And then I get to cut our... Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I definitely want to get to like TCT. Next year, I'd love to go to Formnext. I really wanted to go this year. I just couldn't make it happen. The move really screwed up a lot of my plans for this year. I'd really hoped to get to more shows. It just didn't happen with the move. Just cost too much, took too much time. Things like, what was it? Not Formnext. Something happened. Was it TCT? Rapid TCT was like right after the move, and there was no way I could go. I think it was Rapid, because I wanted to go. I think I had a sponsor lined up, but I just couldn't go. It was too close to the move. It was like, okay. Oh, no, it was like the day before the move or something. It was like I would have had to like leave Ruby to deal with packing. That's why I couldn't go. It was like right adjacent to the move so much that there was no way it was happening. No way. Okay. Come on. All right. With an unlimited budget, without having to worry about pumping out videos, I would go to every show. Yeah. Having to pump out videos is one of the hardest parts. When I used to go to SEMA, I would put out a bunch of videos and I would work the entire time and it was so stressful. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. Okay, so this is going, where is this thing? Here it is. This is going right here. I'm not generally looking for like a cool booth when I go to a show. I'm looking for cool products, you know, things I can cover, companies making innovative stuff. There's this car with a 3D printed exhaust that was really neat. Cool. All right. I don't want to put too much tension on this, so I feel like this is probably where we're going to end up. Is this too tight? No, that seems pretty good. I think I'm going to push this rubber grommet up. I still find it funny when you say the move screwed your plans when you work, when the work on my house started at the same time and I'm still sitting on a building site. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah. Don't envy that. At least we have a roof, like a good roof over our head, you know? Can't complain about that. It's just mostly, it really took some momentum out of my business, unfortunately. Which, whatever, it happens. I'll recover. I'm starting to recover. But it's just taking longer to recover than I wish. Okay, sleeving time. All right. We're going from here to there. I'm going to leave a little excess here. This stuff, this cable sleeving, as it goes over wires and expands, it will reduce length as it expands. So I'm going to leave a little extra long on this one, just a little, and hopefully it's good enough. We shall find out. Burn my ends, and now all of this gets to sleeve over through and snake through all of this. Thanks for talking out of umbilical for now. I mean, look, I'm anal about it, and I'm just making sure I do it in the cleanest way I can. I feel like things like SEMA have fallen off a bit because the news cycle is handled on social now for the most part. I mean, yeah, we're in a world where companies are stupid to not market online on social because it's just so it's free basically to promote their things. Why would they? I mean, do you know how much a SEMA booth costs? A SEMA booth is insane. It's like $40 a square foot. So like a small booth is like $10,000. So like if you're trying to launch a small product or whatever, like you're a small company trying to do it, it's a thing. I was looking at it recently, so. There was also no trade shows for a lot of years, so a lot of companies moved to smaller mini events. Yeah, I have a mini event that I attend each year. A marketing company that I work with in South Carolina puts on a mini trade show. Because something that I have happen a lot, we experience this at like SEMA. I get it a lot at SEMA. Not using cable chain. Nope, we are doing the umbilical. The umbilical. So something I experience a lot at SEMA is marketing people who I will get to talk to are like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. And they get turned off, or they're trying to talk to like a magazine or something. You know, they're trying to do a lot of They're trying to get bigger reach or whatever. So at events like that, they'll be like, I'm small fish, I'm small potatoes or whatever. And they get turned off by that. So this marketing agency that I work with hosts an event each year that is only like influencers. It's people like me, mostly in the hardware space, like home improvement, woodworking, lawn care. But they have me out as well, because I used to work with them with automotive stuff. And everybody knows what they're in for. The companies that show up know that they're coming to meet people like me. Not that they're going to talk to, you know, Car and Driver magazine or whatever the hell. Or, you know, the New York Times or something, CNN or whatever. So it's a much better event in that those companies know what to expect. We know what to expect. And nobody's shocked when it's like, oh, this is what you do. Make a 3D printed lawnmower, 1 billion views, right? I mean, yeah. I want to do some silly, fun, big thing like that. At CES, there's so much stuff that, yeah, different companies want different things. The badges are color-coded, media, exhibitor, buyer, and analyst. That's how it is at SEMA, too. You get different badges. Like, I go under media. I had a media badge for CES. Some companies, people straight up ignore you. Oh, yeah. And I got it a lot at CES where, like, some old-timer would, like, just turn their nose up at the concept of a YouTuber. Some white-haired old guy in a business suit at a booth working in the hot rod trade. Like, come on, like Holly or something like that. I don't remember that exactly happening there, but brands like that would turn their nose up at me. And it was just hard, you know, like, how do I make a dent in that if they don't even view YouTube as a viable thing until after it's too late? I'd actually be interested in a 3D printed robotic lawnmower. That's a fun project idea. Make my own 3D printed robotic lawnmower. I think the sleeving ended up too short. I think it's going to be that's too short. Damn it, I need longer sleeve. Did you ever change any minds when they would act like that? Not really. I'm too socially awkward. I'm too socially awkward to probably make the impact there. Because it's already hard enough for me to go to a booth and cold talk to somebody. So I don't know that I ever did. Now, when I would see change, you're not awkward. You met me in my element at Rocky Mountain. But also, I'm not... I have a short time where I can do that stuff too. And SEMA, like Rocky Mountain is 2 days. The PR and marketing companies often see the potential in YouTube. That's where I was about to say, is I've seen, where I've seen it is somebody turn their nose up at me and then a marketing person who would know who I was or see the potential in what I was doing would kind of shift the mindset of the person. But that's few and far between. That's few and far between. I don't know. Like, I have a very limited social battery, and I burn out hard at events like SEMA. I would have, if I went to CES next week, I would burn out hard there. Well, like TV commercials are dead and gone. We all watch YouTube now. I mean, yeah, not everybody does, but yes, there is a large market of people who do. And that's always the thing that like got me is so many of these companies. I saw it at that marketing event that I go to. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I went to that marketing event and they were having like a round table discussion with marketing people from these individual companies. Like DeWalt was there, Stanley Tools, various brands like that. And one of the younger people on the panel who I was quite familiar with, somebody said something about TikTok. And there was like 4 people on this round table. 3 of the people turned their nose up at TikTok. And the 4th person looked at the other 3 and were like, you are stupid to turn your nose up. because TikTok is where like Instagram was a couple years ago, and you're going to do the same thing that you did with Instagram, where like you hit the ball running, or you dove into it too late. And you're going to do the same thing with TikTok. You got to be on the cutting edge of this stuff and looking for voices that can help you get on the cutting edge of this stuff. And a lot of these companies don't think that far ahead. They don't care until it's already relevant. And once it's already relevant, it's once it's already relevant, it's hard to get rolling. Engineers and product specialists are great to talk to when they can tell you when they know what they're talking about. When they can tell you know what you're talking about. Oh, absolutely. I love talking to those folks because I just want to hear about the product. I want to understand. I want to know about it. And those are great folks to talk to. You go to an event like SEMA, CES, and you actually get to talk to the people who design the things. It's so good. Above a certain size, large companies can't do anything quickly. Too much internal red tape. Totally a fact. Absolutely. A box full of electronics wouldn't be better than having it underside in a DIY machine. I don't understand what what was the question there? Like a top mount electronics box or side mount or something? Okay. Now, this might be long enough. All right. We are to that cable gland end. Boom. All right, that might be even a hair longer than I want it to be. I could probably bunch it up a little bit. Cool. All right, now I just got to feed all of this through here. The 2.4 doesn't really have an inverted electronics mod, does it? I know that's where the cool pull drawer exists. Now, there are people who have done inverted electronics mods on 2.4s. The problem is the rails and the bed. I would never do it because I don't trust. What they do is like either have a removable bed or like a lift up bed. And I don't trust that. Like you taking your bed mounting and making it movable in a way it wasn't really intended to be is just a recipe for like things moving around, in my opinion. Not what I want to do. All right, I'm just cutting a little length off of this braiding because it went just a little longer than I needed it to. And now I'm going to burn the wires by burning this in place. I put some of the electronics on top of my Trident. Yeah, there are like the Doom Cube, the true Doom Cube project that moves the electronics on the 2.4 to the top. So they're a little easier to access. So you don't have to like flip the whole machine over. There's also side packs for, like Trident has a side pack where all the electronics can go inside. I know Zombie Hedgehog built one of those at one point. Okay, now I get the nut for the umbilical. Ah. Stepped on something random and almost fell over, and then Gene got scared. Yeah, you did. Don't pretend you didn't. Ooh, this is going to be a tight fit through here. Hard part is these wires keep like wrapping around as I'm doing this. Hot knife works really well for cutting that, keeps it from fraying. Yeah, I just can't justify a hot knife, and keeping a hot knife on my workbench is not a great idea. I'm intending to set up an electronics workbench where this stuff can like kind of dedicated be done. And maybe have spools that I can pull down, like wire and such. There, I could maybe justify a hot knife. Raise your hand if you flip the 2.4 while using a kinematic bed mount and forgot to remove it. Oops. Yeah, no, I have not, because I use the kinematic bed mount that has the leaf springs that hold the bed in place. So now the next one I'm going to build, the heated chamber one, will have that problem. Come on. The opening in this PG9 is like just too small to get these connectors through. They're just pins, just the wire pins. But it's getting crowded in here. I might need to take this off and drill the hole out a little bit. That's not cool. There we go. Got it through. Oh, this is tight. I don't know how well this is going to work. I think I need to open up this hole a little bit. This PG9 is just too small. It's just too small for this. Getting it over the sleeving here is going to be a nightmare. I just got to open up the hole in it a little bit. Do I have... Okay. I've got a drill. I feel like this camera keeps falling a little bit. Slowing down. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. What time is it? Pretty sure I'm going longer. No, actually I'm not. I want to get this done. I want to get this umbilical in here. Where is my frickin'... There it is. A countersink bit. Use a countersink bit to open this hole up a little bit. Will it fit down in there? It will. All right. All right. It's probably a little sharp now, but yeah, I'll deburr it. I'm gonna go grab well, actually, I can just use a utility knife. I was gonna grab a file, but utility knife will do the job. My favorite deburring tool. I don't know. It's what I use most of the time. It works. It works. I was thinking step drill. Yeah, I just don't feel like going grabbing a step drill. This is working. All right, I want to get the sleeving into this so that the sleeving can act as another layer of protection around this umbilical. This is kind of where I'm trying to do this, or why I'm trying to get this a little more open. Okay, let's see if that was enough. Gotta go this way. From a guy that used a drill to open up a battery terminal lug, don't hold it with your hand. From a professional metal fabricator who drilled thousands of holes, sometimes a day, I know when I'm okay to hold something, but I appreciate you looking out for me. I don't hold and drill often, but a little plastic thing like this, I'm not worried about. Now, one of the cringiest things I see on Maker YouTube is the sheer number of people who go to a drill press and just hold something while they're drilling. That is a pet peeve. Don't do that. Just use a clamp. Drill press will rip that thing out of your hand, fling it around, and cut you wide open before you can blink. I don't care if it's just a block of wood, it'll happen. Oh yeah, this is going easier. But it's so fun to watch it fly. I've done that once. Once. All right, get it through there. Come on. Cool. That's a mistake you make exactly once. I don't know. I've seen people make, again, as a fabricator, I used to see people make mistakes on a daily basis that they kept making. You just can't teach some people. Some people are just like insistent to do things the hard way or the way that's going to get them hurt. I have a scar on my left hand. Come on. Come on. Getting this over the sleeving is going to be hard. Please go through there and don't bite me too much, or else I'm going to have to take this all the way back off and drill it out further. I really don't want to do that. I have a problem with the drill twisting my wrist and running my knuckles into the board or the wall. Yeah. You ever felt a table saw hit you? It's like two trains colliding. No, and I am very glad I have not. I have had one time where a board kicked off a table saw and went flying, and only one time. And it didn't hit me, thankfully. That was in high school woodshop class. The place where that stuff happens. All right, we're almost there. Come on, you can do it. Great, now I just need to get this wire. Please. I hope this sleeving stays in this thing. I don't want it to bunch up out the end of this. Come on, come on, come on. You can do it. Tighten on there. Yes, yes, it started. All right. That was way more of a pain than I wished it to be, but we're getting there. Are you planning on finishing up the Milo anytime soon? Thoughts on 1.6 and 2.0? 2.0 looks really interesting to me. That was just the top one, yes. Just the top one. Yay! Okay, top one is done though. I'm going to finish up the Milo. I got the new Scylla board in from Big Tree Tech. Big Tree Tech sent me the new board for it. So I've got the new board. I would like to convert it to 48 volt too. I've got to get with the folks at Millennium Machine and figure out exactly what I want. 2.0 and Miley look cool. Yeah, I really want to build a Miley because it takes up less space. There is no direct upgrade path from 1.5 to 2.0. No, there is no upgrade path from 1.5 to 2.0. The reason being, it's a very logical reason. It is that we all learned about Milo and Millennium Machine, 5 revisions in, 1.5. So they've been making that version for years and upgrading and fixing and whatever. It just finally really hit now. So they're looking for the next iteration is just too much of a leap forward that things are different enough that there's not an upgrade path. So it's 2.0 time. Is Miley the one that fits in the Casa, or do they have a Casa just built different? Miley will fit in the Casa. Milo fits in the Casa too. Miley, the x-axis doesn't move side to side. The build platform, the fixture plate moves, not the whole gantry. What new one has the joint XY moving build plate? That's Miley. Kind of. So the whole gantry setup moves back and forward, like same as Milo for Y, but the table, only the table moves X. So you lose a little bit of build volume on X-axis, but it means that like currently the Milo, the whole bed, the whole gantry moves side to side. So you need like a bed slinger. You need that extra space on both sides. With Miley, the 2.0 Miley, you don't need that space on the sides. You just need as much space as you need for like the wires and whatever. So it takes up a lot less bench space. You lose like 10 to 20 millimeters of cut volume, working volume, but I'm okay with that. So yeah. So I would really like to build a Miley as well, but this ended up a little tighter than I wished it would. Where's that rubber grommet? There it is. Some more traditional vertical mill style. I think the current Milo is a little more like that. As long as it can hand plunge, decent plunge Z cuts would be cool. Well, with the new Scylla board from Big Tree Tech, they can run 48 volt stepper motors now. And with the NEMA 23s, because like with the Mellow board they were running, like mine currently has, they were very amperage limited. They're very amperage limited on the Mellow board, which limits the power they can do. The new Scylla board, they can run like 4 amps, I think, on it. So they can actually make use of the motors and the power of the NEMA 23 motors. And so, and you can do 48 volt. So isn't there a Voron mill eventually coming? Yes, there is. The, what is it called? I featured it in one of my, Cascade. It's called Cascade. Yeah, they had it at Rocky Mountain Rep. So that is coming. That is also coming. So I'm going to finish my Milo and I'm going to upgrade it to the new board. I'm going to finish the new board. I'm going to put the new board in. I'm going to finish the Milo with that. I might convert the motors to 48 volt, undetermined yet, just to give them a little more oomph. And I'm going to see what it does, and I'm going to play with it. I'm going to use it. We're going to work with it, and we'll see where we're at. And then I will probably end up rehoming it and building a Miley when that's available. So I see myself doing both. I see myself finishing what I got, maybe upgrading it to 1.6 when 1.6 comes, because that's what their concession is going to be, is their concession to the fact that there's not an upgrade path from 1.5 to 2.0 is that there will be a 1.6 update where they'll bring some of the 2.0 improvements to the 1.5 that we currently have. So there is an upgrade path of sorts, but it's not to the full 2.0. It's just to a next stage. Rehome it in the XYZ or give it away. Ha ha, give it away. Ha 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 ha, give it away. That's what I mean. Find it a new home. Is your gantry all the way up? Yes. This is gantry all the way up. Yes, I've been working with gantry all the way up this whole time. To max. It's sagged a little bit, but this is gantry all the way up. Yes, thank you for checking, JA. The harness from gantry to lower stream relief looks short. Yeah, it's definitely a little tighter than I had hoped it would be, but that is full 100% all the way up. So, you know. Okay, now we get to go through this fitting. I'm going to try and get just a little more out of this. To try. And yeah, there we go. I get a little more out of it. Just work it a little bit. Just give myself a little bit more. Will there be an issue with it twisting into the print area? I don't expect it. Like right now, the cable very much wants to be here. If I travel upward with it, it very much wants to like just stay here, underneath of here. If there's any issue, there's plenty of space on the front side of this rail where I could put a little shield down here just to keep it. Do you have any tips for getting a gantry to, or a PTFE and cable to not sag? What I did here was sleeve it with cable sleeving like I did here. So that's what we did earlier in the stream. You can look back much earlier in the stream. And I also wrapped a piece of, I used polycarbonate. I usually use nylon filament. So I heat shrunk a piece of nylon filament to the cable to add a little additional support. Some people use piano wire, or guitar wire. Those are both common. I tried nylon filament and I've had good luck with it. So that's what I did. I did polycarbonate here because I'm out of nylon filament. I don't have any right now. But yeah. I use mechanic wire. Yeah. I don't really have any mechanic wire at the moment either. It's one of those, I probably have it somewhere, but you know, somewhere from the early stages of, okay, these motor wires got to go through here first because they got bigger pins on them. I think. Oh, we lost camera. Let's switch to the tail air. Hi, folks. Can they see me? Yes, you can. And then switch back to this. Properties, deactivate, activate. There we go. I have a new camera switcher on the way. I think this camera switcher of mine is dying. You see it glitching there. It's misbehaving. I think it's on its way out. I like the angle and the arch of the gantry. Thank you. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with it. Steve, I'm currently using a A10 Mini Pro. I have a Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro that I've had for years now. And it's just, I don't know what's up, but it's just not happy. I ordered a Atomos switcher. So it's from the company Atomos that makes like camera monitors. And it actually requires one of their camera monitors to work. It was $70 on sale from B&H this week. But it requires their switcher, which is like $500, their monitor, which is $500. But I already have one. So I saved that portion of it. So that's what I ordered. And I'm going to give that a try. I'm using the Elgato PCI Express, have a spare on the shelf just in case. I wish I could do that, but I use a mini PC, which doesn't have any PCI slots. If I was still using my old computer, that's probably what I would have done. I probably would have switched to that as well. Because that's great because you can do picture-in-picture. I can't really do picture-in-picture with this setup. I can do the multiple cameras, but not quite do picture-in-picture. Not easily, anyway. Okay. Cable's coming through here. Why is this one tighter? This one's tighter than the other one was. Weird. Shock and all, I mean, I did buy a big bag of PG7 and PG9s from AliExpress, so shock and all, there might be a little variance in them. But yeah, I was talking to Ballistic Tech. Ballistic Tech has the Atomos. We were talking about it earlier this week. No, it's the collar that I drilled out. The socket, the actual like gland itself, I didn't drill out on the top. So I don't know why this is being a little tighter than the top one. It might be where it comes through here. I don't know. Don't know. Okay. Let's get this into that rubber bit. I'm almost there. Yeah. I drilled out both of the collars, not this actual PG7 thing. Okay. Give us a little twist. Oop. Okay. Now I'm going to pull a little extra. Make sure I got all the cable sleeving here. Pull this back just a hair. Cable sleeving, just so I got every little bit of length here. I should have maybe made this a little longer, but you know, 90% of the time, the machine's gonna be down here. I don't print full Z height build volume regularly. It's not a common thing I do. I do it, but it's not common. So, all right. And we'll tighten this. Ah, cable sleeving's coming out of there a little bit. I don't want that. I gotta get it back in there. You said doo-doo. Ha, ha. Thanks, Steve. Bad as Nomad. What's with me making mods of people who All right, let's get this in here now. Steve made a doo-doo joke. He said I said doo-doo. I was just saying he's as bad as you. Nomad. Okay. All right. Whew, that is pulling a little tighter on that than I wish it was, but yes, Bean, I know. All right, now these wires make a turn inside of here, and they head out that way. Again, this is max Z, and I actually think this is higher than my Z limit is set on the machine in firmware, but I don't know for sure yet. Okay, there we go. I got to put a nut in here. Yeah. I put a nut in here so I can screw this down. Nope, wrong size hex. Boom. All right, we got our umbilical and our Z umbilical done. A little, I don't love, got a little funky on this sleeving down here at the bottom, but not much I'm gonna do, do about that. All right, let me see if I can get a camera angle on this so you folks can get a better view of what we did here. All right, so we've got, well, let's go over here. We got the PCBs from Chamois, the XR bunker PCBs. So my motors are joining to this PCB that just unions to another cable. Those are both coming into this, which is our Z umbilical mount at the top, on the top of the gantry. That kind of fits in here. I got to figure a way to hold that in there. There's not really a retainer for this cable there, unfortunately, but I'll figure that out. Ah, God, the camera stopped again. Sorry, folks. That new one can't come soon enough. Okay, here's what I was talking about. So motors come to this PCB and union off of that. And then that wire comes out of there and heads up into inside of this mount for the Z umbilical. So there's the top side of our Z umbilical, which is a little tighter than I wish it was. Again, this is max Z. I won't be going this high on a regular basis. I don't know. Off stream, I might extend this ever so slightly more. Undecided. But we got it done so you folks saw the process anyway. I usually don't do wiring stuff like this on stream at all, so there's that. Let's see if I can flip this up and show you our umbilical inside of here. All right. We got the umbilical on the on here, and then coming down to that mount there. Is there any cover plate for that? No, there is no cover plate for this. This is just open, but you got to remember the back panel is right here. There, the back panel is like this wire is going to rub the back panel, so it doesn't really need to be a cover plate. Mine at least is an ACM panel, and honestly this wire doesn't really want to stay in here and doesn't have any way to retain in there. I might just put a little dab of hot glue or something on that to keep it in there. And then angle downward. We go from there down to there. And our cable gland mount, our wire comes down, our Z umbilical into here. Get this out of the way. Into here, makes a turn, and then it heads down into the same cable chain opening. So that's our Z umbilical. But the whole idea here is the umbilical cable on my previously with the Z chain. One thing, it gains me a little space in front of the gantry because now it's underneath the gantry, which is gonna like gain me a little space. Yeah, Gene is mouthy right now. And the Z chain, my old umbilical would get caught on the Z chain all the time. Here, let's lower this down. You can see a better perspective of like day to day. There's the chain, the cable. And honestly, like folks worrying about it coming forward, like it's just not. There, like all the way down, which I think I'm below build volume bed height now. Maybe not. This is probably like bed height. Like at that point, it's in front of the gantry, but it's still like, it's not even touching the gantry extrusion. This rear, like it's in between the two of them, like where the Z chain would have been originally. Can I hit the, yeah, that's just touching my Z limit switch. So, yep, there it is. All right. I do think I'm going to end up extending this just a little bit yet. But I think that is it for this one, folks. Okay, Gene. Let me get this off the bench quick. I'm going to get the machine off of here. Oh. There you go. You're the star of the show now. And I think that's it for this one, folks. Do I have this zoomed in and all? Nope, that's not zoomed in. Mine too, it rip out all 3 times. I'm currently changing to side Z chain. Yeah, I was considering either a Z chain, the lay down Z chain, or the Z umbilical. I like the Z umbilical look better. The only reason I went with it. So, only reason I went with it is I like the look of it a little bit better. Good stream. Take it easy, dude. Thank you. All right, folks. I got to... Still plenty of wiring stuff to do. I don't know how much more I'm going to do wiring-wise on stream. I'm waiting on a new... What am I waiting on? I'm waiting on some... Oh, I'm waiting on a new bed heater from Fabrico. Fabrico is supposed to be sending over a new bed heater. So I'm waiting on a new bed heater from Fabrico. And then I can put the bed back in and we can rewire the electronics box, put the panels back on. That's pretty much it. We'll probably, I imagine there might be 1 or 2 more streams yet. I'll probably only bother to do a stream of putting the bed back in or together and back in. And then probably a final config stream where we'll just like do the final testing, like get it. I'll probably get the wiring done off stream. It's too time intensive and hard to like do all those steps. I wanted to get this done because I thought the umbilical stuff was a little unique for you folks to see how I do it and whatever. Is the VZ bot the next series? No. We're going to, yes and no. We're going to finish my Trident, I think. I want to finish the Trident. The Trident is so freaking close. Next to the cat stream, yeah. The Trident is so close. I want to get the Trident done. So I think we're going to finish the Trident. After this, at least, you know, whatever. It's a similar point where we're going to put the tool head together, do the umbilical. I'll probably do the wiring off stream. So we only have a couple of streams left to get the Trident up and running. So I want to do that. And then we'll move on to the, then we're going to move on to the VZ bot and the positron. I think I want to try and do 2 streams like so many others, like Steve and Nero will do not just one project as I keep doing. I'd like to be able to switch back and forth from projects, so I think we'll probably do the positron and the VZ-bot next. I want to try and set up a little bit better in here, maybe a new bench back here or something, so I can like move the positron onto there while we're building it and like, you know, be able to move back and forth mid-project like I used to have in the last studio. So yes, we will be on the VZ-bot soon and positron soon as well. So, all right, folks. I think that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me and Gene. And greetings from Germany. Welcome in. Probably late for you, so thank you for being here. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me and putting up with my madness. Thanks for adding to the madness in chat. And I'm going to go check out what memes that Nomad has created from this stream, apparently. So, all right, folks. I will catch you all in the next one. And time for the Gene outro. Yes, Nomad is converting me to printing the wrong way. All right, folks. I shall see you in the next one. Steve, thanks for being here as always.